Jindrisska Street connects the three most important squares in Prague: Wenceslas Square, Charles Square, and Synagogue Square. Jindriska Tower dates from the late Gothic era. It was constructed from 1472 to 1476, although it's had several rebuilds and alterations since then. The tower clock was added in 1577. Following a major fire in 1745, Jindriska was rebuilt in the Baroque style. Then, in the 1870s, it was reconverted back to the Gothic style by the famous architect Mocker. The Jerusalem Synagogue was built in 1906 in Newtown and has also been called the Jubilee Synagogue. The Jerusalem Synagogue is an interesting example of Art Nouveau stylization of the morphology of the Moorish style. The ground plan of the synagogue comprises a basilica-type triple nave with two transverse wings. The main facade displays a large Islamic arch and a rosette window with the Star of David in the center and a biblical verse along the perimeter. The facade of this structure is colourful and delights with detail. Stripes, scrollwork and pillars make the synagogue a remarkable example of early 20th century architecture. Narkov Street is a promenade connecting Wenceslas Square with Republic Square. It's one of the most important shopping and banking places in Prague. Narkov means in the ditch, because for centuries there used to be a ditch separating the old town from the new town. Prague is called the textbook of architecture because all architectural styles, from the 10th century until present, have been represented in a small area. The carefully planned new town was founded by Charles IV in 1348. Twice as large as the old town, it was mainly inhabited by tradesmen and craftsmen. During the late 19th century, its outer fortifications were demolished and redeveloped to its present appearance. Narkov Street has architectural majesty spanning 1,000 years. Beautiful Renaissance frescoes, solid Baroque palaces, or old houses with the elements of the best Prague architecture. It's like wandering through the city's pages of rich history. Narkov Street existed in this area even in the Middle Ages, when the new town was built. As this street was quite wide, it soon became the main thoroughfare. In 1977, construction of the metro started. On the 4th of July 1984, the tram line was liquidated and was replaced by the pedestrian zone. The emergence of a nation started with the first ethnically identifiable inhabitants of the area. A Celtic people lived there from the 4th century BC until about the 2nd century AD. They were followed by a Germanic people who left during the so-called migration of nations in the 5th century. Slavic-speaking groups made the area their homeland no later than the 6th century. Among them were the Czechs in central Bohemia and the Moravians along the Morava and Dyje rivers to the east. In the first half of the 11th century, Oldrich of the princely and later royal Czech dynasty of the Přemysls brought Moravia under his control, and Bohemia and Moravia then became the foundation of the Czech state. The crowning of the first Bohemian king took place in 1085, and the first university in Central Europe was founded in Prague in 1348. The development of Czech national culture came to a temporary halt in 1620, when the Czech states were defeated in the Battle of White Mountain. A period referred to as the Darkness lasted until the end of the 18th century, when the Czech national revival, with the formation of the modern Czech nation, began.